Good morning, Vaqueros. Today is Monday, September 22nd, and it's currently 90 degrees. We're coming to you from our Edinburgh studio. I'm Mariana Galladro, and this is Vaquero News.
Campus news,
events, games,
and activities
all in one place.
This is Vaquero Radio,
the Val Student Station.
Monday and Wednesday at 11 a.m.
Vaquero Radio,
where
your story begins.
The loss of Turning Point USA founder left many in shock. But for students in its chapter at UTRGV, it is a moment of grief and stronger motivation. Reporter Emilio Suarez has the details.
Turning Point USA at UTRGV President Alexis Uscanga said the chapter isn't turning back. Instead, it is planning more activity on campus, such as voter registration drives and bringing new speakers to UTRGV. Uscanga said security has become a priority. Turning Point USA's national organization is investing in protecting its speakers, and local law enforcement is standing with them. Uscanga said people already feared speaking up in public because of political violence. And although they may still be in fear, he said what happened on September 10th created a spark among students and they want to get more involved.
I think it awakened a lot of members to really want to get more active. A lot of us weren't just because of the fear of what just happened on September 10th.
Uscanga also said Kirk has and will continue to inspire millions of people across the globe to get involved in politics. Not only that, the chapter president added Kirk will inspire people to take a look into their Christian faith as he's done before. The chapter president said differences in politics should not be a reason to hate each other. Adding different opinions should not be a barrier for people to love each other or be friends. He added, although people may not vote for the same parties nor have the same values, they should still work together.
We shouldn't focus on the division. We should focus on unity, and that's what I really want to emphasize.
For more information on Turning Point USA at UTRGV, email tpusa1776@gmail.com or visit its V-Link page and Instagram at tpusa_UTRGV. The student organization will host a vigil for Kirk at 7:30 p.m. today at the West Lawn by the UTRGV Casabella Apartments in Brownsville. This is Emilio Suarez for Vaquero Radio.
The Food and Drug Administration approved a new batch of COVID-19 vaccines, now with restrictions significantly lowering those who are eligible. Can you get the 2025 to 2026 COVID-19 vaccines? KVAQ-TV's multimedia journalist Jasmine Espinosa with the stories.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has limited the new COVID-19 vaccines to individuals 65 and older or people who have at least one underlying health condition that puts them at an increased risk. According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, some health conditions include, but are not limited to, cancer, chronic kidney disease, chronic liver disease, asthma, dementia, Parkinson's disease, and diabetes. UTRGV Health Sciences Master's Program Professor Russell Wendt says restricting the COVID-19 vaccine can create a problem for individuals with comorbidity, which is two pre-existing diseases or conditions in a person at the same time.
It did say that those with pre-existing conditions will help those under age 65 meet criteria for COVID vaccination. However, the problem is we have a country full of people with comorbid conditions. Oftentimes they're undiagnosed, and the fact is those can be risk factors, for example, hypertension or obesity or diabetes, and we do have a large number of people under age 65 currently undiagnosed for that.
According to a May 20th article published in the New England Journal of Medicine by FDA leaders, the administration limited the shots because studies show how the vaccines benefit older adults and people with health conditions, while healthy younger people show little added protection. Wendt says lowering the vaccination rates may increase cases of COVID-19 within the communities.
So the other thing is the lower the vaccination rates that we see in our communities, the more chance there is for the virus to mutate and turn into potentially deadlier or at least worse varieties of COVID. So I think it's important that we try to maintain as a higher rate of vaccination as we can to prevent those kinds of risks.
Vaccine availability can vary in places such as Walgreens or your local pharmacies.
UTRGV's Project Rescue is among the top 10 finalists battling for $20 million in a national competition. Here's Celeste Cruz with the story.
Live research and development work we do is driven by the needs in the community, in the Valley, South Texas, and then at the national level.
A group of UTRGV researchers is working on a project that may be able to help eliminate or minimize the disruptions related to the energy grid fragility in the Rio Grande Valley. The University of Texas Rio Grande Valley Project Rescue is a finalist for the Gulf of Futures Challenge, which is a competitive program from National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine working along with Lever for Change. The challenge received 164 applications from organizations in Louisiana, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, and Texas. From the 164 applications, the competition was narrowed down to 10 finalists. As a finalist, UTRGV will receive $300,000 in planning funds. 2 finalists will receive $20 million. Rescue stands for Renewable Energy for Sustainable Continuous Uninterrupted Ecosystems. Principal Investigator, Senior Vice President for Research and Dean of the Graduate College, Kant Saigen, said the team would like to bring together the technological components to minimize the valley's fear of losing power during a weather disaster.
And when you look at the region, we are underserved, economically disadvantaged, and given the population and the grid structure, there are a lot of outages. And as you can imagine,
he said to provide a continuous energy system, the team has to bring in the technology system and the manufacturing of technology. The team is working on a microgrid, which is a battery energy storage system.
It could be fossil fuels. So by basically expecting disruptions, you're basically keeping your battery full with a variety of different energy sources, and that battery energy storage system can actually support the grid.
Cecilio Ortiz Garcia is a professor of public affairs and security studies and director of the Center for Community Resilience Research, Innovation, and Advocacy, and also serves as the co-principal investigator of the project.
So renewables, not only are they different technological artifacts, renewable energy technologies, they also change the behaviors, they change the culture, and they change the relationships between energy producers, energy users. For example, a household or the owners, a family that owns a house, can now not only be a consumer of energy, but a producer of energy, a storer of energy. And this changes the dynamics, the social dynamics of these energy systems.
Saigen said the 2 winners will be announced in January 2026. This is Celeste Cruz for Vaquero Radio.
A local organization formed a domestic violence high-risk team in Hidalgo County. KVAQ-TV multimedia journalist Ian Juarez gives us the details.
So it's continuing to fight the good fight, right? To bring an end to domestic violence so people could live free from fear, free from abuse and oppression.
Mujeres Unidas has teamed up with the Hidalgo County Criminal District Attorney's Office, the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office, and the Weslaco Police Department to form the Domestic Violence High-Risk Team. Community Education Program Coordinator at Mujeres Unidas, Genesis Gonzalez, said the team was formed to improve safety for clients.
So the high-risk team is several organizations, several entities working together to try to figure out what's happening in specific cases so we could improve responses, we could improve safety for clients, what are red flags that we need to be aware of, kind of like going into deep, doing a deep investigation of all these cases and what they have similar and how they're able to improve services overall for clients and how we could end violence.
Mujeres Unidas is a nonprofit organization based in McAllen whose purpose is to provide a safe space for victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. Gonzalez shares a variety of services the organization provides.
We provide support services and shelter to victims of domestic violence and sexual assault, like legal counseling, the Men Against Violence program, the Rape Crisis Center, legal advocacy, which they're not lawyers, but they do help help clients understand the process of the courts, the rights, legal options.
Founded in 1978 by a group of volunteers, Mujeres Unidas was based in Pharr and only had a 2-bedroom shelter. The current shelter being utilized was built in 1988 at an undisclosed location and can hold up to 45 beds. According to Gonzalez, Mujeres Unidas is the only shelter specifically for victims of domestic abuse and survivors of sexual assault in Hidalgo County.
So just to keep in mind that they're not alone, we are here to help them in any way we can. There's many organizations that we work with that we want to be able to provide these services to them and help them get out of their difficult situation. Just to understand that we're here to try to empower them and provide any services that we can in any way we can.
To contact Mujeres Unidas, visit one of its locations at 511 North Cynthia Street or 420 North 21st Street in McAllen. The main building's phone number is 956-630-4878. To contact their satellite center is 956-664-2826. For operating times, visit the Mujeres Unidas website.
UTRGV is monitoring how President Donald Trump's administration is reprogramming $350 million in federal grants because they are, and I quote, unconstitutional. Reporter Emilio Suarez has the story.
On September 10, the U.S. Department of Education announced it will end discretionary funding to several minority-serving institutions, grant programs that meet racial or ethnic quotas. The decision was made after the U.S. Solicitor General John Sauer said the Hispanic-serving institutions programs violate the equal protection component of the Fifth Amendment Due Process Clause. He also said the U.S. Department of Justice will not defend the Department of Education in ongoing litigation. According to the September 10 news release, $350 million in discretionary funds were going to be allocated to support the programs in 2025. But those funds will be reprogrammed into programs that don't include discriminatory, racial, and ethnic quotas and that advance administration priorities. Vice President for University Marketing and Communications at UTRGV, Patrick Gonzalez, sent a statement to Vaquero Radio saying the university closely monitors actions by the federal and state government and assesses any impacts their decisions may have on the institution. The statement read, and I quote, "Our priority remains to serve the Rio Grande Valley and beyond via an innovative and unique multicultural education dedicated to student access and success." This is Emilio Suarez for Vaquero Radio.
McLean goes up and throws down a monster dunk. That fires up the UTRGV field house.
And now time for Vaquero Sports.
Straight back for the crossing route. McCaffrey, touchdown. That's big time.
Hola, Vaqueros. This is DJ Doc V with your schedule for this week's UTRGV athletic events. The women's volleyball team is hosting Lamar University on Wednesday for a noontime game at the UTRGV Fieldhouse. Get lunch at the Fieldhouse and cheer on our Lady Netters at noon. The UTRGV football Vaqueros are on the road this week in Hammond, Louisiana to take on the Lions of Southeastern Louisiana State. The game will be broadcast nationally on ESPN+. The women's swimming and diving teams are participating in the Orange and Gray Intra-Squad Meet and Pentathlon in Pharr, Texas at the Natatorium on Friday, 12:45 p.m. and Saturday at 10 a.m. Remember to bring your student ID to UTRGV athletic events for free student admission and cheer on our student athlete. That's your sports schedule for this week. Be sure to tune into Office Hours with me, DJ Doc V, every Friday at 10 a.m. only on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station.
And now for this week's events calendar.
What's up, Vaqueros? Let's check out all the fun events going on this week. Monday, on the Edinburgh campus, the Recreation Center will host a Zumba toning from 6:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. Following that, on Tuesday, the Counseling Center will host a Journey of Shared Healing from 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the Plains Capital Bank Theater. And on Wednesday, on the Brownsville campus, Union After Hours will be held at La Sala at 5 p.m. On Thursday, UTRGV's Theater will host a theater tote bag decorating event in E-Lab's Albert Jeffers lobby from noon to 2 p.m. That is the event calendar for this week, Vaqueros. Don't forget to bring your student ID to all UTRGV events. This is Ariana Gallatro for Vaquero Radio.
And now, for this week's campus weather report.
Hello, Vaqueros. Here's the weather forecast for this week. Today, Monday, will be a sunny day with a high of 92 and lows of 77. Tuesday will also be a sunny day with a high of 94 and lows remaining at 77. Wednesday will have highs of 93 and lows of 78. Thursday is expected to be a rainy day with highs of 90 and lows of 75. Friday will also be expected to rain with highs of 90 and lows of 74. That is the weather forecast for this week. Remember to dress accordingly for these weather conditions. This is Celeste Cruz for Vaquero Radio.
That is the newscast for this week. Remember to read our news articles every week on our website, utrgvradio.com. Tune into Vaquero Radio through our website or download the Radio Garden app to listen wherever you are and enjoy the best DJ shows around campus. Remember to check out our YouTube channel for the latest news from UTRGV and the Valley. Our weekly newscast will also broadcast at 11 a.m. Wednesday. Join us next week, same time, same place, only on Vaquero Radio, the Valley student station.
Thanks for tuning in, Vaqueros. Don't forget to saddle up every Monday and Wednesday at 11 a.m. And remember, V's up!